Hello, welcome to this new video. My name is Martina Vincenzi and I am the founder of the VIP Flight Attendant Academy Private Jet Coach. Today I would like to answer to a very important question that Darina asked me. The question is, how do you deal with customers' complaints? So how do you manage a situation where your customer is unhappy, unsatisfied and probably angry? So this is a very important question, and first of all I would like to divide the two different cases, the two different scenarios. The problem has been caused by you, or the problem is out and beyond of your control. I'll give you an example. One of the most common things that tend to be forgotten on board a private jet when you order catering are the ice cubes. So let's say you forgot to order ice cubes and you didn't realize. And then during the flight, your customer asks you for sparkling water with ice and lemon. You realize that you don't have the ice, and now here is the problem. You are unable to provide the service that has been required. So how do you deal with the situation? Well, in this case, my suggestion is do not try to hide behind a finger. Because it would be absolutely unprofessional and it doesn't make any sense. So do not try to come up with the excuses such as I'm sorry, the ice all melted, or I didn't have enough and now there is no ice left. This is a little bit unprofessional. Again, it's really not the case. So in this case, it's just better if you simply say the truth. That, you know, we are all humans, mistakes can happen, and then maybe you try to sort out the situation in another way. On the other hand, so the other scenarios, the problem has not been caused by you and is beyond your control. For example, slots. Delays at departure. Delays at departure that could be for any reason. Can be because there is traffic on the airport of departure, because there is traffic on the airport of arrival, so therefore you cannot take off if the destination, the airport of destination is not ready to welcome you. It might be because of weather conditions, so maybe there is a thunderstorm and you have to wait until the thunderstorm has passed by. So many different reasons. In this case, the situation is handled a little bit on a different way. If the problem is beyond the control of the crew, is usually the captain the one who informs the customers and tell them what's going on. Then, of course, the captain usually doesn't stay with the passengers, with the customers much longer because he or she has other business to take care of. So then you are the one in the cabin with them, and then you have to deal with them. In this case, my suggestion is to apply the so-called LEAP technique. The LEAP technique is a certified method that help you to gain trust. It's a communication method that help you to gain trust with the other person, to create a bond, and eventually to overcome the problem in a peaceful and constructive way. So LEAP is an acronym that stands for Listen, Empathize, Agree and Become Partners. So when you have such a situation, what I do is I bend down on my knees in order to be at the same eye level with my customer, and I start asking questions because I want them to talk, and therefore I am listening, actively listening. So I am looking them in the eyes and I do not interrupt them until they are done with their speech. After they're done with the speech, I start with the empathize. So I become empathic, and I can say sentences such as, it must have been really terrible for you. I can't imagine the level of stress you had gone through. All these phrases, all these sentences help the other person to feel understood and therefore to relax and, let's say, put the guard below. Okay, put the guard down. Because they understand that you are not an enemy, because you are empathizing with them. Then you agree with them. You can say something such as, definitely this situation should have been handled in a different way. In this, it's also part of the empathizing process. And again, it helps the other person to feel understood and to feel valuable. And then the last part of the leap technique is to become partner. So in this case, it means that you have to find a solution, even if the problem is not yours, even if the problem hasn't been caused by you, even if there is nothing that you can do about, you can still act on the feelings that the person is feeling. So, for example, the feeling of frustration, the feeling of stress, you can act on them, you can manage them, although you cannot do anything if the problem is a thunderstorm, okay? You have to wait that the thunderstorm has gone, but again, you can act on the feelings. So, for example, Darina suggested very wisely to ask them, what can you do? So I would ask my customer, what can I do to make you feel better? And Darina suggested to propose to put on some music, hopefully the favorite music of your customer. Music, it's a very powerful element in our senses and definitely has the power to change your mood quite rapidly. So this could be a solution. Otherwise, offering drinks and food, in this way you are going to work on the very basic need of this person, which is the need to have a full tummy, a full stomach, and to be hydrated. So I am fulfilling this need for you because you are so valuable for me that I'm giving you whatever you need to stay alive. Okay, this is the ultimate care that we can give to somebody. So to work on that is definitely also quite appreciated. You can again maybe put the lights a little bit dim, so for them to relax faster. You can offer to help them move in the seat so they have a more comfortable position, offering something to read. So you take care of them, you show them that you are actually caring, and you work on their feelings, the way they are feeling right now, because this is where you have the power to change it. Once this is done, I still highly recommend to provide also service recovery. By service recovery, to speak very practically, I mean to give them a gift, okay? To give them something, to show them that you are sincerely and genuinely sorry for the hassle that they had to go through today during your flight, and that you are trying to do your best to make the flight, or to try to save the flight until the very last moment, because you want them to have an unforgettable experience, positively unforgettable experience. So, for example, what I gift, the most common gift that I give when I'm on board a private jet is a bottle of champagne, because you have plenty, because it's liked pretty much by the majority of the population, and because the price of the champagne will never be, it's not a compromise, okay? It's nothing compared to the fact that you are able, that doing so, you are able to solve the situation and turn a very bad flight into a very good flight. So yeah, bottle of champagne is probably the most common and the most easy thing to do. However, if for any reason in the world you cannot give them the bottle of champagne, you can give them the flowers that you have on board. You can give them some chocolates, for example. Or something that you can do if you have Wi-Fi on board, for example, contact the FBO, so the handling agent at arrival, and ask them to arrange something at arrival. That could be a special catering, that could be a special gift, according, of course, to the preferences of your customer. You have many ways to handle the situation, and everything will be absolutely authorized. Because this is meant to be done to save a flight, to save a situation, a bad situation, to turn it into a positive one. So yes, this is my suggestion. This is how I do, and it's definitely a very useful tip, I think. If you have any other questions, as always, feel free to get in touch with me. I will be very happy to answer to all your questions through my personal experiences and my knowledge.